Hey guys, it's Chris, and I am here this morning. It's early in the morning. I am going to be doing a react today to some good old TikToks, fat acceptance TikToks, specifically looking up a phrase in TikTok that really just pains my soul. And that phrase is fat is not unhealthy. So I think we're going to get a variety of things. It's going to be interesting. And it should be fun. For those of you who don't know me, I do have a medical background. I do have a diet and health and nutrition and weight loss background as well, personally and from a research point of view. I have helped some people lose weight, and I would like to do it again. But right now, I am working on getting myself back to a healthier weight. I was fit and thin most of my life, so I would like to get back there. I just want to take a quick moment before we get into these. I don't know how long this video is going to be, guys. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's reached out over the past couple of days for just support. Some people have bought me some coffee or given a super thanks, like my first financial support for the channel, and I super appreciate it. But I truly just appreciate the views and the subs and the really kind words I've gotten in this difficult time my family's going through. I have a couple of aunts, and they are like mothers to me, and they are extremely good to my son. And my one aunt who is a sarcoidosis victim, like patient, which I consider her a victim because it really stole her life. But she has got a lung transplant, and we got 13 years with her, and now she is really at the end stage of her life, and we had to take her off of her dialysis yesterday. That's a decision she made because there's really not much else they can do, and she does not want to continue to suffer. So we have her on comfort measures right now, and we're going to be going back up to the hospital and just hanging out with her and talking and laughing, watching TV and whatever she wants to do. She's completely in her faculties. Nothing about her mind is gone. So we're just laughing and hanging out and enjoying what we have. So it's difficult. But this is life. And like I said, we got 13 extra years with her, and I would actually like to do a video explaining sarcoidosis because it is a very little understood and little known disease. I'd never heard of it before she was diagnosed with it, but it can affect people very differently in various parts of the body. My aunt happened to develop hers in her lungs, but you guys have all been super great. So in order to just kind of take my mind off things and get a video out for you this morning before I make the long trip to the hospital and stuff like that, we're going to look at some fat acceptance and just numb my brain with some of this stupidity. And hopefully we'll have some sanity mixed in. If it's muted, or I have to mute it and I won't talk because of copyright music, we will do that. So if there's like an episode, if you're just listening, where it's like a little silent, that's why. And if you could let me know in the comments, I've never quite figured this out. Why is TikTok allowed to use like copyright music? And they use it straight up from the artists and everything, but YouTube you can't even try. So how is it allowed on TikTok but not on YouTube? Anyways, here we go. Fat is not unhealthy. Let's see what these loon bags have to say today. And I see one of our classic ones right here in front of me, so we'll start with her.
Like, people don't realize how stupid doctors sound whenever they blame stuff on being overweight that's not related at all. Like, could
okay, I'm gonna let her finish.
you imagine if any other risk factor was treated like that? Hi, I'm Dr. Lindsay. So it says you're here for an ear infection, and it looks like, yep, you do have an ear infection. Okay, so it does say here that you play football, and so everyone knows football is dangerous. So I think if you just stop playing football, the ear infection, it'll just clear up. Just stop playing football and you'll be good to go. All right, bye. $55.
Okay, see, this is a horrible example, and she picked this example because it was more difficult for people to pick apart. Everybody knows that playing football does not cause ear infections. It could cause head injuries. Funny how she didn't use that example. Fat is dangerous. Being extremely overweight is dangerous. Now, we all need a little bit of fat on our bodies. I'm not saying you have to be like 0% fat, but you do need a small amount. But you cannot, once you get into like extremely overweight and obese, if you have more than, I would say, 25 pounds of excess weight on you, it's getting to where you need to lose it and you're not healthy. If you definitely have 35 or 40, 50 plus pounds, you are definitely not healthy. You've got issues with eating too much, not moving enough, possibly. You're going to start developing issues. And most of the time, people are not that overweight because they are eating a healthy whole foods diet. A better example she could have used would have been something like smoking or drinking, because that would have negated her argument. She's trying to say, oh, doctors sound stupid saying you're fat, it's affecting you, you need to lose weight. She made up her stupid example, but a doctor absolutely would say, look, I see you're a smoker and you've got elevated blood pressure and you're starting to get some like wheezing, you're starting to have problems with like your oxygen saturation, maybe getting a little bronchitis, chronic bronchitis, stuff like that, pneumonia. You should really probably quit smoking. They would absolutely say that. Or another example would be drinking. Hey, your liver enzymes are elevated. Your liver function's not doing that good. You're starting to develop some alcoholic fatty liver disease and leading towards cirrhosis. You've got fluid buildup in your belly from your liver starting to fail called ascites from alcohol. You should quit drinking. They wouldn't tell that person, yeah, just go ahead and go have at it. Just drink beer instead of liquor. I mean, what an absolutely stupid case. This is a woman that also says she has ARFID, which is like a disorder where you only can eat certain things because you have fears of certain foods. And she has readily admitted that her safe foods are nothing healthy. Her safe foods are only things like pizza and stuff like that. Now, my son had an episode a few years back when he was like 8 where he thought he was choking. He was not choking, but a piece of like macaroni got stuck in his throat and he freaked. I mean, full-blown anxiety attack. Thought we were going to have to take him to the hospital. It was a thing. Became very scared, stopped eating. Kid who loves food stopped eating, and we had to give him, make him sip protein drinks, Ensures and stuff, take him to the doctor, have them look at his throat, have them verify for him that there's nothing stuck in his throat, there's nothing wrong. And he always kind of liked softer stuff, but now, even to this day, like three and a half years later, he still likes most of his food softer and mushier. For a long time, he stopped eating a lot of things he likes. Like some of his favorite snacks were like raw green beans and sugar snap peas and snow peas and stuff. And he steak, and for a long time he would just like chew and spit. Like, we had a hard time getting him to actually swallow anything. And even to this day, certain things, if they're too hard, if he thinks they're too fibrous, he will not eat them or he will spit them out. It's a thing. She doesn't have ARFID, okay? Like, it's a real thing. And it's a problem. Like, we had to get him into counseling. It was very traumatic for him. So, this woman irks me. But anyways, there's our lesson today. Hopefully we'll have a couple lessons. We'll see who is next on the list. I briefly scanned this, but I wasn't 100% sure what we were going to pick. Okay.
There's nothing.
Oh, God, this song. Oh, God, this song. Okay, I'm sorry. It's going to be stuck in my head all day now. And now it's going to be stuck in yours. Yeah, here we go. And this is a woman who is obese probably needs to lose a minimum of, I'll be lenient and say 45 to 55 pounds. But she could probably lose about 75 or 80.
Wrong with my body. Fat is not a dirty word.
And she puts on a shirt that says all bodies are good bodies. Yeah, no. Some bodies are better than others. And not everybody is going to have a perfectly healthy body. That doesn't mean just because your body's unhealthy does not mean it's not like good and you aren't deserving of the best medical care you can get and respect and fair treatment. That's not a thing. But not all bodies are good bodies. And when you do this to your body, she is making a perfectly good body not a good body.
If my body tells me something, I will make sure it is heard. If my body is a vessel, I will give it what it needs.
No, you're not giving your body what it needs when you give it a ton of excess food and calories to the point where you are obese. And I don't care what these people say. We have learned from watching What I Eat in a Day as a Fat Person that these people are not getting fat on whole foods and healthy foods. They're eating tons of processed takeout, fast food, junk, stuff that comes out of a box, bag, freezer, stuff like that. And even when you eat those things, those are much more highly caloric. They're full of MSG and preservatives and bad fats. But you still have to be eating a lot. And you could still technically eat that stuff and lose weight. If you have something like I have severe like PCOS and insulin resistance. So I'm getting to be a middle-aged female. So I really, where somebody my height and stuff may have a TDEE. Like I checked mine last time for my current weight. My TDEE to just maintain is like roughly, I think around 1,600 calories a day, 17. It's not much. That's actually not a lot of food when you think about how much people eat these days, the caloric density of fast food and takeout and stuff. And people drink a lot of their calories. Today's people, I've been drinking calories and I don't like that, but I've been drinking coffee drinks and stuff, just being on the move, driving over an hour each way to the hospital and back. It's longer than that because I hit traffic. But so my TDE might actually only be 1,500. So I might have to like eat 200 or 300 calories less than another woman my size, height, age, and stuff who doesn't have those problems. But I could still lose weight. And guess what? For the past 2 days, I've eaten McDonald's burgers and fry. Not the thing is not a big one. Like I had a double cheeseburger yesterday, just a plain double cheeseburger from McDonald's and like a medium fry. And that's pretty much what I ate yesterday. I had a taro boba tea on the way home. And I actually over the past 2 days I've lost weight. Eating nothing but fast food because I just wasn't eating enough. So it is possible, and I don't recommend it, but eating to this point and to this success is not healthy. Oh God, let's see here. We need to make sure we try to find some sanity to throw in here. Okay, this is
Fat people are not in.
okay. This is girl is responding to a comment that says, but aren't fat people unhealthy because you need to be eating unhealthy to become fat in the first place? Okay, technically no. If you literally stuff yourself with chicken and rice and vegetables and good fats and stuff, if you eat a bunch of fruit and smoothies and stuff like that, if you are eating way too many calories and too many extra carbs and you're not moving and burning enough up, you can get fat on healthy food. But the fact is if it is healthy whole food, unless you're just like slamming back nothing but avocados like all day every day and nuts maybe, you would have to eat so much whole healthy food to get fat. And a lot of overweight people do eat a lot of healthy food, but the fact is people that are extremely obese are getting that way on very unhealthy, processed, refined carbs, takeout food, fast food, processed food, convenience food. They're not getting, like, look at the people on my 600-pound life. Look at Amber Lynn Reed, Foodie Beauty. So, like, they're not getting to be those sizes on healthy whole foods. And this girl, I don't know what she's going to say, but I'm probably sure I'm not going to like it, because I find her type to be the most evil in the fat acceptance community. And what type is that, do you ask, if you're not looking at the screen? A very petite, thin white woman. I think the most evil people in the fat acceptance community are the thin women who know damn well they are not practicing what they are preaching, and encouraging women to get fat, get fatter, gain weight, and fat women to stay fat. And in the meantime, they are in fact not practicing what they are preaching, or they would be eating all kinds of stuff to get fat and be fat. And no, instead, this woman takes care of herself in a way where she stays very slim, because she is very slim. Let's see what she says.
Inherently unhealthy, and not everyone can be healthy. If this confuses or upsets you, let me explain. Some fat folks are fat because they like to eat, sure, but there's nothing wrong with that, and that doesn't...
If you are obese, you... Listen, okay, now here, I know this is going to piss some people off. There is no medication, no condition, no genetic factor that makes you obese. Some of it will affect your appetite or your satiety cues or your metabolism, to the point where you have to watch what you eat and eat less than other people. And is that fair? No. It sucks? Yes. But that just means you have to adjust your intake and or output, or both, and you will not gain weight. There is no birth control, no thyroid condition, no PCO. Like I said, it can affect those things, your metabolism, stuff like that. You are not genetically predisposed to be obese. You are not getting and gaining 20, 40, 60, 100 pounds because of your birth control or your thyroid or anything like that. No, it's not a thing. And guess what? If you have a thyroid issue and they put you on medication and regulate it, your thyroid issue is under control. Your thyroid hormones are stabilized and regular. That's no longer an excuse. PCOS, you just got to eat less. I hate to break it to you. You just got to eat less most of the time than other women, and work a little harder and lose the weight a little slower, but it can happen. And the more weight you lose when you get into a healthy weight, PCOS is far more controllable. I know, I've experienced this very much on a first-hand basis. But this woman is just spouting lies.
Doesn't mean that they're not active or taking care of themselves.
Okay, yes, there are some overweight people and fat people that are active, but people that are extremely obese tend to not be active because their fat hinders them. It's detrimental for movement. They're out of breath easier. They're more tired. They have more inflammation in their bodies, and they ache and they hurt. And they just can't do, I'm sorry, an obese person cannot do everything a thin person can do. Or at the very least, they can't do everything as well as if they were thinner.
And even if they're not, they still deserve respect. And other fat...
Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm an asshole, but I do believe in giving people basic courtesy and kindness and stuff. But respect is something that in my day and age you earned. I'm not going to disrespect somebody because they're overweight or because they look different, because they don't like the same things I like, because they don't believe the same beliefs I have. But I'm going to be polite, but you shouldn't just like respect somebody and kiss their butt and ogle over them because they're obese. Like, I'm sorry, being extremely obese is a failure. It's a failure to treat yourself right, to take care of yourself, to make the right choices. Hey, I'm there. I ended up with the PCOS and stuff when I got Lyme's disease, and I was stuck on the couch for 2 years and I could barely walk and barely move. I would have had to have really cut back to the point where some people would say, "Oh, that's not a healthy amount to eat. You're starving yourself," because of the sedentary lifestyle. Barely 5'1". I'm a petite framed female. I don't need to eat that much to begin with. But when you take away 90% of your movement, and then the metabolic issues and the hormonal issues from things like PCOS, I probably needed to eat no more than about 1,200, 1,300 calories at most during that time. And let me tell you, I was eating a lot of convenience food back then, ordering pizza, getting frozen stuff, giving it to my son too, although he still liked a lot of healthy snacks. So I would still get him his fruits and like veggies and stuff like that. But for myself, I didn't bother because I was in so much pain. I just wanted to like not move as much as possible. So eating that way, it's easy to blow past 1,200 calories. It really is. This girl's thin and she's evil and she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Being fat is unhealthy, but not all fat is unhealthy. Stick with me. Fat's got a pretty bad rap, but as it happens, the body needs fat to actually utilize a lot of the vitamins and minerals that we consume through the other parts of our diet.
And this is very true. Like saturated fat, animal fats, they've gotten a bad rep over the years, but they are not bad for you. They are not bad for you. Not even saturated fat, guys. This is stuff we've been eating since the dawn of man. We didn't have a choice to go hunt polyunsaturated fat animals and stuff back in the ancient times. The bad fats are the trans fats. They oxidate very quickly. They're very inflammatory, completely unnatural. And that is the worst ones. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower, safflower. That type of stuff is not good for you. It's not. If you eat oils, and margarine, oh my God, which is just like really hydrogenized, like corn and soybean oil and stuff, canola oil. That stuff is horrendous for you. Good for making soap. I'm a soap maker. Bad to eat. Eat the real fats. Eat fats that are found naturally in nature. Coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, sesame seed oil, macadamia nut oil. Eat your macadamia nuts. Real butter, lard, tallow. It's not bad for you. If you have a choice between lard and tallow, pick the tallow, because with the way pigs are these days, they tend to be higher in omega-6 fatty acids, and a lot of people have inflammation problems because with our modern diet, our omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratios are out of whack, and we get way more omega-6 and not enough omega-3. Fish, oily fish, fatty fish, salmon, stuff like that, wild caught is the best. But so if you have a choice between tallow and like lard, I would pick the tallow, but olive oil, coconut oil, stuff like that, it's not bad for you. Of course, if you're overweight, if you need to lose weight, don't overeat, but do not be afraid of fats. They are satiating. They help keep you full and satisfied. And like he's saying, a lot of your vitamins and minerals and stuff are absorbed much better with fat. They need fat to be absorbed into your body.
We call them fat-soluble vitamins. So what's a good fat and what's a bad fat? Well, the fat that you want to try and avoid at all costs are trans fats, and you're going to find this...
Yeah, and that's the ones I was talking about. A saturated fat is not a trans fat. It's not bad. It's these like man-made fats that are made in factories out of things that normally don't give you oils and fats, like corn and soybeans.
The most in fried food, baked goods, and some very processed snacks.
And they are always in like fast food, takeout food, processed food, like your frozen packaged foods, store-bought sauces, and like dressings and stuff like that, baked goods, because soybean oil and corn oil, these canola, they are cheap. They are exponentially cheaper than a tallow or a lard or coconut oil or olive oil, real olive oil that's not adulterated. They're insanely cheap, and that's why people use them. And that's why they're in everything. Everything. Packaged, processed, mass-produced restaurant foods. It's awful.
The reason why this fat is bad is because it can raise your LDL, which is your bad cholesterol, which has...
And I'm going to kind of argue with them back there a little. There's more and more studies that higher cholesterol is not bad for you. Having a high cholesterol is not necessarily dangerous, but you don't want an overly high one. In my book, I still don't think. But there are some lean mass hyper-responders that eat a very low-carb diet that their cholesterol goes through the roof. But the trick is once you get a high cholesterol, do the further testing to actually measure the particle molecule sizes of your cholesterol. There are big, fluffy cholesterol molecules and little, tight, hard little ones. The bigger, fluffier ones are the best ones. And if you have a higher amount of those, even if you have a high cholesterol, it's better. It's like really tricky to explain the cholesterol thing because we were so wrong about it for so long. Good channels to watch about that is somebody like Bart K. I think Paul Mason, and there is a low carb documentary where this guy did this self test with a low carb diet, and at the end they actually they worry about his cholesterol and they do the further testing, and he talks to Tim Noakes about it and everything. It's an older documentary. It's called Serial Killers, Cereal. Look it up, watch it. Very good, very fun documentary. It's only an hour long. I definitely suggest you check it out and watch it. Now, I'm not demonizing all carbs. I used to be like, no, carbs are I'm not demonizing them as much now, but you definitely need to be mindful of how many you eat and where they come from. And they do need to come from healthier sources like quinoa, whole grain rice. You really got to watch the wheat and stuff here in America. That's a whole nother show.
Has been linked to an increase in heart conditions, coronary heart disease, and some forms of cancer, not to mention obesity in itself. But there are fats that we consider more healthy. Things such as nuts, avocado, fats that you get from fish such as salmon. These kind of fats can actually help your HDL, which is your better cholesterol, and help bring balance back into your system.
Yeah, and if your cholesterol is higher because that's high, that's definitely a good thing. That's like a best case. Your best case scenario is to have a higher like a lower LDL or even a slightly high LDL, higher HDL, and you want to have low triglycerides. That's crucial. And low inflammatory markers, low normal blood sugars, blood sugars in a normal range. And if you can get your doctor to test your fasting insulins, you want to have a normal, non-elevated insulin level. To me, those are like the most important things. And if you have all that good and it's all doing well and you're getting your weight under control and your weight's under control, you'll naturally have a better blood pressure, better resting heart rate, all that stuff.
As a rule of thumb, the more processed the food is, the worse it's probably going to be for you.
Like him. Yay. That was really good. See, so we're getting some truth.
Skinny is not synonyms of healthy.
And nobody says that, okay? They always go, fat doesn't equal unhealthy, and skinny doesn't equal unhealthy or healthy. Oh my God, I can't even talk. You know what I'm trying to say. The fact is no, there are people that just don't overeat or they have very active lifestyles or jobs, high metabolisms, and they're thin. But if they still eat like that atrocious diet with the high amount of convenience food, takeout, processed food, stuff like that, then that they're still going to have problems with inflammation in their body. They could be thin on the outside, but have larger deposits, still have more visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs, than is good for them. They could still have elevated insulin, elevated blood sugars, developed. There's a lot of type 2 diabetics that are not, in fact, heavy. So, no, we are not saying that thin equals healthy. It is not just about being thin. It's about maintaining healthy diet, healthy habits, moving. And it doesn't need to be doing CrossFit and being a gym bro and all this and that. It's just about moving, walking, just getting yourself active and off the couch as much as you can. And even having too much muscle, even people that are overweight with muscle mass, that is still not necessarily healthy, because just we're learning more and more thinner bodies to a certain rate are healthier. They live longer, and weight, even in the form of too much muscle mass, is not as healthy as if you have muscle, have good muscle tone, lower body fat, and you're lean. So you got to find that sweet spot. And I know BMI is not a good metric, but it's decent enough that you really want to at least keep yourself within that healthy range for your age, for your gender, for your height, and stuff like that. So yeah.
I am 26 and fat is not synonymous of unhealthy.
Okay, now listen, this girl is like, she just showed this thin girl, and now this butthurt fat girl, no doubt, is saying fat is not synonymous of unhealthy. I will tell you right now, I'm being judgy. This woman is overweight. Clinically obese, because I don't want to admit it, but this is roughly around how I look. Okay. I carry a large amount of my weight in my abdomen and these boobs. Oh my God, they gotta go. Sorry if it's TMI, they gotta go. But I carry a lot of my weight in my abdomen, and this woman does too. And that is the most unhealthy. That puts you at the highest risk for type 2 diabetes and just bad health issues. I'm not saying this woman has to be a stick. She doesn't have to be skinny mini. But even if she lost 25 or 35 pounds, she'd still be in the overweight range, but she would be healthier. I'm assuming that she's probably 5'4" or less. I don't quite know her height, but she needs to lose some of that visceral adiposity. It's not good.
I'm 26 and I exercise daily.
And okay, guys. Okay, listen. Exercise is good. Exercise is great. Do something you like. Don't force yourself to do something you don't like. But exercise, it's not the most important thing. It is crucial to, like I said, move your body, but you could never exercise and still be healthier if you just ate healthy and maintained a healthier body weight. Of course, moving, exercising is good for longevity. It's good for, your core strength, keeping your muscles from atrophying, and it's good for muscle tone and general just strength and well-being. Exercise is great for your mental health, but exercising alone, you can't out exercise a bad diet. And it's very true. You need to focus on cleaning up the diet, eating healthier. And I used to think that way too. When I was a figure skater, when I was young, I stayed always within a range between 92 to 98 pounds. That was it, because I always stepped on the scale. It was mainly around 98 pounds. And I ate whatever the hell I wanted. I mean, I can't believe how much I actually ate. And I look back now and I go, wow, I ate like shit. For a long time, I believed that. Like, oh, I'm thin. I'm really active. I exercise a ton. I'm like, I've got a lot of muscle in my legs and great, and was starting to work on a six-pack. Oh, God, I think back on those days now, and I'm like, I would kill. I used to think I was fat. I used to think I was too big. Stupid girl. But now I know, like, that's still not healthy. That's still not optimal. You need to worry about your diet. It is not just about exercise. Ideally, guys, yes, combine healthy diet with healthy active lifestyle. But you can't just rely on exercise alone, because
I have normal
exercise
blood
alone is
pressure
still not going to undo all of the damage that a really bad diet does to you.
and cholesterol.
Okay, now here, listen. I know, okay, I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news again. Here comes Chris the bitch. I'm gonna say that your basic blood work, to a large degree, doesn't mean jack shit. Not to me, not to somebody who knows about it, who likes to look at that stuff. I'm a big nerd. There are people on my 600-pound life whose blood pressure and basic labs come back just fine. Doctor now says, okay, you can go home and go work on losing weight. Just because this girl has a normal blood pressure and all that, normal heart rate, she does until she doesn't. That doesn't mean she still has inflammation. Like, and most of the time, especially when you're young, your doctor is not checking for those elevated, more detailed markers, like your liver enzymes, or doing a scan of your liver to see for fatty liver. I guarantee she has some degree of fatty liver. Arterial blockages, coronary calcium scores, inflammation markers are a big one. The size and shape of the cholesterol, the liver enzymes, the C peptides, the C reactive proteins, like just all of those things, advanced as far as like her iron levels, vitamin D levels, all that stuff. Things are going to be out of whack. And that's not even getting into her hormones, her insulin levels, her blood sugars, her fasting blood sugars, her A1Cs, her estrogen levels, testosterone levels. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Most of the time, those things are not all hunky-dory with people that are severely overweight. They might hang in there when they're young, but once you get to a certain point where you start getting into your 30s and into your 40s, you're going to start to see problems. So good on this girl for exercising, but she needs to clean up the diet.
Who knew, right?
I know.
So I just had an interesting talk with my kid.
Okay. We'll go on to the next one and do a few more. How many more do you guys feel like doing? Oh boy, this lady looks nice and angry.
Thinness doesn't mean health.
Yes.
Sometimes it's AIDS.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And being fat doesn't make you unhealthy.
Being obese makes you unhealthy. You are unhealthy
Exactly.
if
Just
you
means
are
your farts
obese.
smell worse.
If you are 35 pounds or more overweight, you're unhealthy. Oh God, I do this girl on what I eat in a days, and she has one of the most atrocious diets. I mean, it is bad. I regularly clocked her at easily over 3,500, 4,000 calories a day. And she's saying fat does not automatically mean unhealthy, just like thin does not always mean healthy. And I just explained all that a few minutes ago, so please go back and listen to that again, because I just said all that. And I am right, and she is wrong, and that's the end of it. This woman has the most processed, atrocious diet on par with the likes of Amberlynn Reed I've ever seen in my life. Regularly eats like 4,000 calories a day, roughly, and needs to lose at least 75 pounds. She's going to keep it up, and it's going to be 100 or more. She probably could lose 100. I'm not lying. I don't know. She looks a little taller than me. Like, she's probably maybe like, what, 5'5", maybe 5'6". I'm a hobbit. I'm barely 5'1", so I'm not the best at picking out heights. But, and again, mostly central adiposity. Carrying all that weight in that belly and that fupa area and the abdomen, and it's not good. She always acts like smiles and acts like so super happy and cheery and I'm great and bellies are beautiful and life is good. No, and no. Oh, and hell no. Oh my God, wait a minute. That's a copyrighted song, isn't it? If this part gets muted, I do apologize. I do apologize if that part gets muted. Okay, here. We have a new guy talking. I think this guy talks some sanity, so let's listen.
This woman wants to make kids fat, and she is so woke that she thinks if you put your kid on a diet, it's a bad idea. Meet Virginia.
If your kid's obese, you are failing your child. But I do understand a lot of people grow up, especially people that are raising kids now, that they grew up on a lot of packaged, processed convenience foods. And they grew up in a time like I did in the 80s or 90s where convenience foods became a lot more prevalent. A lot more snack foods came out. The trans fats and the low fats were being pushed. More sugar, more carbs, and then bigger sizes and bigger portions, especially here in America. And they grew up with bad eating habits, and that's just how they're raising their kids, because that's how they knew to eat, and that's how they ate growing up, and now they are raising their kids the same way. Plus, a lot of people are overworked. People have to, both parents have to work. Some people have to work 2 jobs, and a lot of people really, truly, when they have families and work and everything, they don't have time to cook healthy meals or really know what's right and wrong, because we're told eat this, don't eat this, this is healthy, this is, and people get so confused about what to eat and what's healthy that some people just say, screw it, I'm gonna eat what I want and be done with it. Just, health be damned. But you do really need to make sure you are trying to teach your kids how to eat healthy and about food. I try to teach my kid what is healthy, why certain foods are bad, and why some are better for you. And I never tell them, don't ever eat this or that. Just certain things need to really be a treat and in moderation. Focus on this and this. And you know what? My kid is one of the leanest, healthiest kids in his class. He's got muscle, good muscle tone and mass for his size. He's not skinny fat. But there are a lot of overweight kids. So it's really important. And a lot of parents who have overweight kids, they don't make the changes to help their children because they don't want to give up those foods either. And you can't make your kid eat healthy and cook for it and then go and eat the pizza and the junk in front of them. It's just cruel. You have an overweight kid, you need to change that. You need to help them. You need to lead by example, because kids are going to mimic what you do. So, but putting a kid on a diet is not bad. It's not on, but you have to take different approaches with kids as far as dieting. You don't want to put a kid per se on a diet. You just want to implement changes, get them moving more, go do stuff as a family, be active. If you need to lose weight, eat healthier, make those changes yourself. I rarely see a person who is thin and fit and healthy and has a healthy diet who just feeds their kid garbage and has a fat, unhealthy kid. They try to feed their kids what they eat. So if you need to lose weight and clean up your diet too, do it with your kid, do it together as a family. Try new things, get them to eat new things and different things, and do it yourself, and you'll all be better for it. And your kids look and go, oh, look, that's what mom and dad or mom or dad, whoever is, that's what they're eating, and that's what we should eat. And try things, and if they don't like it, try it in a different way or try something else. And you'd be surprised at how much a kid will be more willing to try, especially when they see you doing it. But yeah, let's get back to this. Boys only. Fatphobia. Okay, I gotta mute this. This is a thing that says fatphobia is a serious problem in America. Being fat is not unhealthy. Again, a very slim, slender, thin girl saying this. How is that not evil? And then, yeah, here's a comment. It says, so just ignore that it's the biggest health crisis in America and kills millions. Yeah, exactly. Jesus. Okay, so this one is somebody screaming into a pillow, and it says, me getting ready to explain for the 10,000th time that being overweight doesn't necessarily make you unhealthy. And I said already that being 10, 15, I'll give you 20 pounds overweight, you're not necessarily that unhealthy, but you probably have to do some cleanup in your diet. But anything more than that, anything over 25, 30 pounds, you need to lose weight. and you're going to have issues once you're 40, 50. If you get into the obese category where you're 40, 50 and beyond pounds overweight, you are unhealthy. There are unhealthy habits, unhealthy lifestyle practices, and unhealthy things going on in the body that may not like come to a head for 5, 10, 20, 40 years. It all depends on how bad the situation is.
Okay.
Healthy. If you are morbidly obese.
Okay, now this one, I want you guys to listen. I don't know if this is actual satire or if this guy is serious. Let me know what you think. But listen to this guy. I'm scared he's serious.
Obese, you are extremely healthy, and it sucks.
And he also looks like a fairly fit young man too, which is the worst. But I can only see his shoulders up.
There's people out there who disagree and think that, oh, being obese is not good and say it's ugly, when obese people are the most attractive people. The more
maybe he's just a feeder or a chubby chaser. I don't know.
Obese you are, the more attractive you are. It is proven. The scientists at Yale have proven that the more obese you are, the more people are likely to want to be with you. So you need.
No, see, because we know that's bullshit. We know that's not true. Come on. Like, this has to be a joke, right? This has to be mocking these people. Please tell me. Please tell me this is a joke.
Need to eat more and be obese. The people who say that obesity is bad or not healthy are just being fatphobic, and it's frustrating and annoying. Being obese is amazing. It has honestly helped so many people. Honestly, it is amazing for people to be obese.
It helps people be lazy and give in to all their food cravings and temptations. And this guy has either completely lost the plot or this is satire and he's really good at it, because he has me concerned.
EDP is one of the most healthiest people in the world, and it's because he is obese. Everyone loves him. He's an amazing guy because he is so obese, and it sucks that anyone who is upset at him or doesn't like him, they're just simply being fatphobic and against obese people.
Listen, everybody should be fatphobic. Everybody should be afraid to get to a point where they are extremely overweight. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. And I really always joke about that I'm going to make merch and stuff that says proudly fatphobic or some fatphobic bitch or something like that on it, because you should be afraid of being too fat. What about MAFA? What about Make America Fatphobic again? How about that? Any ideas for merch in the in the comments? Stick them in there. I'd love to know. I don't think I'm at a point where I want to make merch yet, but I like, just thinking about the idea in case I ever get to that point.
No reason. When being obese is healthy, it's good for you, it's amazing, and it's honestly one of the most amazing things that you can possibly be. So
and honestly, if you guys like want to support the channel and stuff like that, as far as like something like akin to merch, just when my shop is like more stocked, like, and I get my soaps in there and body products and more like items, buy those things, you know what I mean? They'll probably come more in handy for you. And I'm going to be making things like I'm making bookmarks coming up, and plant charms, which are really cute. They're like little earrings, little blingy earrings for your plants. You can hang on them and stuff like that, and on trees and stuff. Yeah, buy that stuff before. That would be the merch for my channel probably, but it's fun to think about.
You aren't eating or you aren't obese, you need to be obese now. It is healthy, it is good.
That guy was absolutely taking the piss. He absolutely was. He had to be.
Question: does anybody actually believe the message that the cover of this?
Hi, yes, I do, because that's what's actually backed by science.
No, it isn't. There is nothing backed by science that says that being extremely overweight or obese is healthy. That's junk science. That's you BSing. And that's like you're looking at research and stuff conducted by like HAES people, by Health at Every Size people. It's not good. It's not it, sis. And it's just not true.
You look at your heart. Fat is not bad.
Okay, now this is it. Now listen, this is a good example. I'm going to rewind this. Listen to what this doctor says, what this guy says. And then I'm sure before I explain it, you can figure out very quickly how people in the fat acceptance community would cut and cherry pick this to feed their narrative. But I want you to listen to what this guy says.
You look at your heart.
He's a doctor.
Fat is not bad. Fat is a mechanism to protect you because you're inflamed. I don't want you to sit and think, I'm fat, I'm bad. No. That is a normal response that the body has when it's inflamed. So people want to lose weight. Wrong thing to lose. Lose inflammation. Then you create a fat loss. But you have to live a lifestyle that encompasses that. You have to have a psychology that encompasses that.
And so what he's saying, I mean, he is not entirely wrong. People who are overweight and extremely obese eat a very inflammatory diet. And sugar and trans fats are the most inflammatory things you can eat. And yes, that even means carbohydrates, even in the form of whole grains, oatmeal, right? Stuff like that. It is sugar in your body. Some of it in measured amounts is perfectly fine for you, but too much does have an inflammatory response. Being overweight is just inflammatory and unhealthy for the body. When he's saying lose inflammation, then you'll lose weight. When people go on a low inflammatory diet, they are usually cutting out most of the refined foods, the packaged, the processed foods, the refined grains, and they are eating, and guys, newsflash, animal products and stuff are not inflammatory for you. They are not. But so people who go on an anti-inflammatory diet, that's like one of the things I helped like a couple friends with a few years back, is you want to eat good quality, eat some meats, good fats, lots of green leafy vegetables, lower starch vegetables. I'm even all for like sweet potato or squash. Get your grains, keep them more limited, eat them in the form of like whole quinoa, beans, lentils, chickpeas, some rice, but keep those to the smaller part of your diet. Eggs are very good. Nuts, seeds, again, all keep in mind your caloric needs, because you can still overeat that stuff. Avocados, great. And you can eat that stuff in excess of your caloric needs and gain weight. But you start eating like that, cleaning up your diet, taking out all the junk, all the baked goods and pastries and breads and pastas and junk food and fast food and stuff. That cleans your diet up. That eliminates so much of the excess added sugar and refined grain and trans fats and hydrogenated oils and just like MSG and preservatives. And that has a very good effect at reducing inflammation on your body. And that will in turn help you lose weight. And the more weight you lose and the healthier and cleaner your diet is, the less inflamed you are. So it helps you all around. So that's what he's talking about. But what these fat acceptance people would say is they would just clip the very first part of that where he says, look at your heart. You need fat. Fat is not inherently bad. And how they are taking it is absolutely not what he meant. And he means that fat, as far as healthy amounts of dietary fat, are very important and very much needed and an essential part of a healthy diet. But they would absolutely chop that up and stitch it any way they wanted to in order to push their rhetoric. We'll watch one more. Oh my god, this one again. You know what? They're not all working.
Healthy.
Because,
If you are morbidly,
I clicked on that one, but that TikTok, but it showed me a different one. Okay, so we'll just throw it out here. So the TikToks aren't working 100%, so we'll see what this one is and see if it's the last
just use this as a teachable opportunity.
Yeah, see, I'm clicking on one and it's not showing me what the actual, like, picture of the TikTok actually is.
I'd like to help you out there. Everything that my friend Anthony here has said is completely 100% accurate, but I also wanted to provide some scientific evidence that all of the things that we believe about weight loss is bullshit. People like to claim that being fat automatically means you're unhealthy, when that's just...
It is. I already explained this. I also explained that my idea of an unhealthy level of fat is 25 pounds or more.
It's not true. In fact, this UCLA study from 2016 found that millions of Americans who are classified as overweight are actually perfectly healthy individuals.
No, they're not, actually. The BMI metric changed, and more people actually fell into the overweight and obese category. And if you really don't like BMI and you want to use a very accurate measure of overweight, obesity, healthy BMI, body weight, and stuff like that, use a height to weight ratio. And if we use that, more people would be overweight, and more people would be obese, and more people would be classified as class 2 or class 3 obese. So that's wrong. Plus, that's 2016. Okay? That's like that study, okay, if that's a study from 2016, if it depends, was it done in 2016 or was that study published in 2016? Because if it was published in 2016, there's a good chance the actual data was from 2013 to 2015. So that is at least an 8-year-old study, and people are a lot bigger now than they were even then.
People also like to attribute being overweight to an unhealthy lifestyle, when in fact,
most people that are, see, okay, again, if you're 10, 20 pounds overweight, that doesn't necessarily mean you have an unhealthy lifestyle. But when you are like literally 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 plus pounds overweight, you do have unhealthy lifestyle habits. You just do.
According to the CDC, genetics actually play more of a role in weight.
No, that's absolute bullshit. It is bullshit. Your genetics do not listen. Okay. Genetics plays a part, absolutely, in how you carry your weight and where you carry it. Weight distribution. That's very familial, genetic, stuff like that. Just like it is with your height and stuff. But you could have the worst genetics on the planet, and if you eat a healthy diet within a calorie limit where you're not overeating according to what is needed for your body, you will not be overweight. You will not be obese. Your body cannot pull calories out of the stratosphere, and it can't create calories out of the oxygen you breathe. If it's not coming in, it's not going to end up on your butt, pretty much. So, I mean, if you are predisposed, I mean, like, this argument is just bullshit. Even if your genetics play a big role. Okay, so what? Let's just play pretend here and say that's true. If your genetics made you predisposed to be fat, still, if you only ate 1,200 calories a day, or 1,000 calories a day, or 14, whatever it is, depending on your height, you would not be overweight. You just would not get obese. You could not get obese on 1,200 calories a day. So, yeah, it would suck. If this scenario were true, you would have to just eat a lot less than people, but you could maintain your weight. Your weight is controllable. It is a lot trickier, a lot harder for some people. It's not fair that I could maybe only eat 1,400, like 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day, and my partner, who is actually very big and broad and 6 foot tall, built like a Viking, can eat 2,500 calories a day. That's a lot more food. He has a lot more food freedom, a lot more. That's just how it is. That's life. And you just have to work with the hand that you were dealt. So, it is what it is. But this saying that weight is primarily genetic, no, it's not. How you carry it, where you carry it, that is genetic. But nobody is genetically predisposed to be obese. Nobody is doomed to be obese or severely overweight. That's not a thing. And this is the type of reason why I got into reacting to stuff like this, because this is a bad message to put out there. It's inherently dangerous and wrong, and it's going to discourage people who want to make better choices or know they need to lose weight. They're going to be like, well, why even try? Why bother? Because it's not possible. I'm just doomed to this. And then they won't even try to make better choices when they might have been considering trying, you know? So these people are talking people out of making better choices, and they're basically keeping people down with them. You know, it's that crabs in a bucket mentality. And everybody in your family could be overweight and obese. Stop and take a look at their habits, though. What they eat, how much they move. If you make the right choices for you out of a sea of fat people in your family, an entire fat people family, you could be thin, you could be fit. So don't let these people fearmonger you, because that's exactly what it is. It's fearmongering.
Anything else. And even if it was just based off of food intake alone, healthy diet is not available for all Americans.
Yes, it is. Healthy food is available for all Americans. And okay, guess what? Again, we're going to play pretend here. If, let's say, the only thing you have to eat at your disposal is, oh, God forbid, McDonald's and Arby's and Wendy's and all that stuff, guess what? I lost 3 pounds in the past 2 days eating McDonald's and boba tea. Because no matter what you're eating, you can always just eat less. If you just eat less, you can lose weight. It's not ideal, but food deserts aren't quite as prevalent as they say they are. I live in BFE, okay, in a one-horse town, and we have a ton of healthy options. And if you have a yard or a porch, you can grow a lot of herbs and tomatoes and some veggies and stuff like that, some little fruit bushes. You always have the option. Get some rice. You can order stuff online now. Instead of ordering Uber Eats, order some healthy beans and rice and crap like that, on Amazon and have it delivered. When you go to the store, like, instead of spending $25 on a McDonald's meal, go and get some chicken breast or chicken thighs or ground meat or eggs and stuff like that. You can always make better choices, and you can ultimately always just eat less damn food and don't drink your calories. At the very least, if you just quit drinking your damn calories, people will lose weight.
Especially those who live in food deserts, where it's very, very hard to find healthier foods because you don't have access to supermarkets. And let's not even...
Most people do have access to supermarkets, but I explained the way to fix that. It's like you can always eat less, people. That's the thing is when there's a will, there's a way. And this is just fear mongering and making it seem like your weight loss is hopeless. No, it's not. This is somebody telling you this who has given up and who doesn't want to do the work, doesn't want to put in the time and effort. And she doesn't want you to be better than she is. She doesn't want you to do what she is unwilling to do. So she is trying to keep you down with her. And that makes her a horrible person, in my personal opinion, of course.
Even get into the discrimination that doctors can legally give against obese patients. Why don't people who say that they just want to promote a healthy lifestyle just say that they hate fat people and move on?
Because you know what? The people who push, like me, who push really fat people to make changes and clean up their diet and lose weight and get healthy, we don't hate fat people. We're the ones who like fat people because we want to help them get healthy, live longer, live a better quality of life, have a longer health span. It's people like this woman are the ones who actually hate fat people. She's an evil woman.
Because the facts don't agree with them.
Yeah. I think I'll end it there because she was pretty pretty evil, in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's just, what they say is just inherently wrong. It's not true. Like I said, fat acceptance is one of the most toxic movements we have out there right now. And I will talk about it until it dies a slow and painful death, just like all of its creators are starting to do. So, anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. I don't know, honestly, how many videos I'm going to get out in the next few days. I will continue the morning weigh-ins. They're usually in the morning, but at some point every day there will be a weigh-in for the 100 days of weigh-ins. We just reached day 33 today. And I will just kind of keep you guys updated on what's going on, and I will get out what I can. I will try to keep up with any Amber reacts. I do want to go over some foodie beauty stuff, and even if I have to make a couple just little short videos or something like that, maybe a car vlog or two while I'm like heading up to the hospital. Obviously I won't be able to look at the camera, but I can like set it up and then I can sit there and talk while I'm driving. We'll see what's going on, but I love you guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Have a good one.